All right, so I got a coworker. Actually, let's just um, this is not the first time that someone came up to me and talk about how can I speak fluent Chinese, or a communication way. Let's just put it that way, instead of saying English and half Chinese. Now, this is not just narrow focus on Chinese. It's all different language. That's why I wrote it mother tongue language. All right, whether the mother tongue you want to put or your father's tongue language. All right, whether it's Mandarin or any language out there, it's always the case. Okay, so I got a coworker. She was very surprised that she's a mother of two. She was very surprised the Chinese that I spoken. Now, many who born in foreign countries and try to learn for mother tongue language, it's pretty fob. Let's just put it that way. It's just it's they cannot communicate, and they have to use English or other language to substitute the full sentence. Like my brother is one of them. So yeah. So what is the best way? And she's been telling me like she's spending loads of money and taking her kids to go to Chinese schoolings, and she doesn't, she's not happy the results, and is she wasting money? That's her. That's what she wanted to ask me. All right, is she wasting money teaching her kids, go to tutoring or whatever, to teach the kids the language that they can speak? Now, I told her about you. She's not the only one who said the same thing to me, and I've told her that, and I told her this: if you really highly regards your child to learn that mother tongue, and you and your husband and your family feels like this is the most important thing, all right, besides stimulating, integrating in whatever country you're in, a foreign country, whether it's Australia, Canada, America, or France, or whatever, it works the same way. If you feel like, or there's future job opportunities back in your hometown, all right, the best way, I'll give you a bit of my story. The best way is, it's about, you have to change the environment. And this is more of the nature versus nurture base, experimental. If you spend, now I know my family members, no, I can't say family members, but my cousin, my auntie spent so much money investing in their child to speak Chinese. She couldn't speak fluent. She only understands, but she couldn't speak. She learned how to write and everything, but she forgotten everything. And looking back at it now, they spend probably more than $20,000, and that's a lot of money. Just besides taking the kids to go to Catholic school, or just go to other tutoring, maths or English, and they're having Chinese, and it's a waste of money. And I told my coworkers, like, it's a waste of money, and I tell her my life story. All right, I went to my ever since my parents divorced. The best decision they made was chucking me to boarding school in China. Now, I was very young. I was at the age of 7 and till age 10, right? But I'm Australian-born Chinese, okay? I have no Chinese when I moved to China. After a year, I've picked it up so much. I picked it up my mother's tongue language, Cantonese, but I couldn't pick up my dad's tongue language, which is Teochew. And, because I was living in Guangzhou. So Guangzhou is pretty much just dominated with Cantonese and, second of all, Mandarin as well. So I picked it up 2 languages. All right. Now, I've picked it up until now, I can still communicate. Cantonese, I can't communicate because I rarely use Cantonese. I use more Mandarin. But I came back, I talk a lot. I spoke a lot. I spoke and now I'm at the age of, we're talking about the age of 7 to 10. I've got all the words. I forgot how to write. But when I go to China, the more I stay in China, the more of the Chinese character, I have a flashback. It's a lot of flashbacks coming back to my head, what it meant and things like that. But, it's an elementary, Chinese that I've learned. Let's just put it that way. And I've told her that, look, the best advice, if you want your child, you really want your child to get to the stage, and plus she's from Taiwan. Um, Mandarin is important, and also the Taiwanese dialect is very important. Do you want your child to have them two? Most important thing, or you just want Mandarin? Regardless what you have, the best way is not to invest so much money here, but it's the best way is to chuck them over there and go to schooling. Now, if you have family members able to, if you have extended families to able to look after, that would be the best thing. I know boarding school is the most expensive thing in overseas, especially. Unfortunately, I wasn't a Chinese citizen, therefore I can't go to government Chinese school. I have to pretty much go to boarding school. And I told her, look, if you can chuck your kids, if you're able, and if you feel like it's the most important thing for your child to learn that sort of language, the best way is to chuck them. See 6 months how it works, see 1 year how it works. All right. Children, they pick up very quickly. Now, obviously, they'll lose English, the language, but picking up English is never too late. And I told her one thing. University, majority of the top university nowadays in Australia is majority from international students, even though they don't have English or anything, they're still acing it hard. So I told her, look, even if it's done the delay of English for your child, don't worry, they'll pick it up very soon. It will take a while, but they'll get there. But it's a good trade-off, if you want your child to speak that mother tongue language and not just having half English or quarter of your mother tongue's language and the rest is all English, like my brother is, or many Australian born or many foreign born are like that. So that's my best advice for anyone who wants to get that way. You have to make sacrifices to get there, I'm telling you now. But I could speak, but like I said, there's a lot of I've only up to 7 to 10 years old, so anything above that I cannot possess too much. But if you feel it's most important, embedded in your culture, that's what you need to do. Even though you try your best to do it in your home, in a new foreign country, it's right about all your family, it still doesn't work. Because when you're in, if you chuck your kids to your hometown or your mother tongue language, they are forced to learn. No choice. They can't just say, oh, I'll probably just chuck this book away. They can't do that. So yeah,